Solitude naturally brings discomfort. When you remove external distractions, you're left alone with your thoughts, fears, and unresolved emotions. The Stoics taught that discomfort is not to be avoided but embraced, for it is the path to growth. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In solitude, discomfort becomes your greatest teacher. Facing yourself without distractions forces you to confront uncomfortable truths. Maybe it's a fear you've been avoiding or a habit that no longer serves you. This confrontation is painful but necessary. Epictetus believed that only by confronting such inner obstacles could one cultivate resilience and virtue. Machiavelli's realism acknowledges discomfort as part of power. Leaders face harsh realities, often alone. Rather than run from these moments, Machiavelli encourages leaning into discomfort strategically, understanding it, learning from it, and growing stronger. Think of the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in solitary confinement. His solitude was an extreme form of discomfort, yet he emerged with a spirit unbroken, a leader who transformed a nation. Mandela's example shows that solitude, even at its harshest, can be a crucible for profound growth. Modern science supports this. Exposure to controlled discomfort, whether physical or psychological, strengthens the brain's ability to handle stress. This concept, called hormesis, means that what doesn't kill you truly does make you stronger. Tonight, as you enter solitude, welcome discomfort. Instead of distracting yourself, lean into the unease and ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this moment build my resilience?" Remember, the comfort you crave often traps you in weakness. True strength begins when you stop running and start facing discomfort head-on, with solitude as your ally. Solitude is not an escape from life's difficulties. It is the battlefield where you forge your inner warrior. Patience is a rare and precious virtue, yet solitude is its natural incubator. In the busy clamor of the world, patience is tested constantly. But when alone, removed from the pressures and distractions, you can cultivate this essential strength with intention. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" Patience softens anger and sharpens judgment. Solitude slows time in a way, allowing you to step back from instant gratification and impulsive reactions. Epictetus emphasized that the wise person waits calmly and acts with reason rather than haste. In solitude, you practice waiting, not passively, but with awareness and acceptance of the moment as it unfolds. Machiavelli understood patience as a strategic advantage. The best leaders wait for the right moment to act, controlling their impulses and avoiding rash decisions. Solitude teaches this discipline by removing the noise that tempts you into reaction, helping you develop foresight and composure. There's the story of Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced immense pressure and opposition yet was known for his profound patience. His reflective solitude, often in the quiet of the night, allowed him to weigh decisions carefully and lead with a calm strength that ultimately saved a nation. Modern neuroscience reveals that practicing patience reduces stress and improves emotional regulation. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, strengthens when you cultivate patience through reflective solitude. As you prepare to rest tonight, imagine yourself as a lake, still, deep, and patient. The ripples on the surface are temporary, but your depths remain calm and steady. This is the power of patience cultivated in solitude. When you learn to be patient, you resist the pull of reactive impulses and gain control over your destiny. Solitude is the classroom where this mastery is taught and practiced daily. Remember, patience is not weakness. It is the quiet, relentless power that underpins all true strength. Solitude is not just a state of being, it is a deliberate act, a practice of designing an inner sanctuary where your mind can recharge, focus, and grow. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Withdraw into yourself and look, and if you do not find yourself beautiful yet, Act as does the creator of a statue that is to be made beautiful. Intentional solitude is that sculptor's workshop where you shape your mind and character. In a world overflowing with distractions, solitude becomes an act of rebellion and self-preservation. You decide when to step away, to turn inward, and to protect your mental space. This intentional withdrawal is essential to prevent the erosion of your focus, peace, and willpower. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control external events, we can control how we structure our inner lives. Designing periods of solitude, whether through meditation, journaling, or quiet reflection, strengthens your mental fortress and prepares you to face life's storms with grace. Machiavelli's insight into power also applies here. The most effective leaders are those who control their own environments. By intentionally carving out time for solitude, you reduce vulnerability to external influence and cultivate a calm mind capable of strategic thought. Consider the example of Leonardo da Vinci, who carefully balanced periods of intense work with intentional solitude, allowing ideas to incubate and flourish. His practice of retreating into solitude was key to his genius, proving that creative and strategic minds require this sacred space. Modern psychology confirms the benefits of intentional solitude. It enhances creativity, reduces burnout, and improves emotional regulation. It's a mental reset button that helps you stay sharp and resilient in a demanding world. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, plan a moment of intentional solitude tomorrow, however brief. See it as a gift to your future self, a sanctuary where clarity and strength grow. Remember, solitude is not passive isolation. It's an active choice to protect your mind, cultivate your soul, and build the foundation for a powerful, focused life. Decision-making is one of the most critical skills for success and fulfillment. Yet, when overwhelmed by external noise and pressure, clarity can easily slip away. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Take care that you don't treat in a human way what happens to you as if it were something alien to human nature." Solitude offers a sanctuary where your decisions are grounded not in chaos, but in reasoned calm. In solitude, you step back from the crowd and the clamoring opinions that can cloud judgment. Epictetus taught that only by turning inward and focusing on what you control, your own reason and values, can you make sound decisions. Solitude creates the quiet space necessary to weigh options without bias or haste. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of calculated decisions in leadership. A prince must learn to wait for the right moment and not be swayed by the loudest voices or fleeting trends. Solitude is the strategic pause that empowers you to act with wisdom and precision. The story of Abraham Lincoln's presidency offers a profound example. Despite immense external pressure and national crisis, Lincoln often sought solitude to reflect deeply, pray, and contemplate before making monumental decisions. This habit of retreating inward ensured that his leadership was rooted in calm deliberation. Neuroscience shows that solitude enhances prefrontal cortex activity, improving executive function and decision-making skills. By regularly engaging in solitude, you train your brain to resist impulsive reactions and embrace thoughtful, intentional choices. As you prepare for rest tonight, imagine yourself stepping into a quiet room inside your mind, free from distraction and confusion. In this room, you are the sole voice, the calm arbiter of your fate. Embrace solitude as your decision-making sanctuary. Here, your choices become clearer, your path more defined, and your actions more powerful. Remember, every great decision begins with stillness. Creativity is often misunderstood as a spontaneous burst of inspiration, but true creative genius requires solitude. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Dig within. Within is the wellspring of goodness." Solitude allows you to dig deep, tapping into the wellspring of ideas and insights that often get drowned out in the noise of daily life. In solitude, your mind can wander freely without interruption or judgment. Epictetus encouraged the practice of withdrawing to reflect deeply, understanding that true wisdom and creativity emerge from inner contemplation rather than external stimuli. Machiavelli, a master strategist, knew the value of time alone for reflection and planning. His works were born not in the frenzy of politics, but in quiet moments of solitude where he could observe, analyze, and craft ideas that have lasted centuries. Consider the story of Nikola Tesla, a visionary inventor who prized solitude as essential for his creative process. Tesla's ability to imagine complex inventions in his mind's eye was nurtured by hours of isolation, free from distractions. Modern research affirms that solitude enhances creativity by activating the default mode network in the brain, responsible for imagination and problem-solving. It is in these quiet moments that your brain forms new connections and innovative solutions. As you prepare for rest tonight, allow your mind to wander gently in solitude. Don't force ideas, but welcome them like unexpected visitors, letting them flow naturally. Remember, creativity is a gift that solitude nurtures. By embracing moments alone, you unlock the genius within. Solitude is not emptiness, but fertile ground for your most profound ideas and creation to take root and flourish. Solitude is a sanctuary for emotional healing, a place where wounds can be tended and pain understood. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." Healing begins when we step away from the noise and face our inner turmoil in the stillness of solitude. Many people fear solitude because it forces them to confront feelings they have buried or ignored. But the Stoics teach that avoidance only prolongs suffering. Epictetus advised us to accept hardship as part of life and to use it as a tool for growth. Solitude provides the space to process these emotions honestly and without distraction. Machiavelli, though often seen as ruthless, recognized the value of inner reflection for leaders facing betrayal and hardship. His political career was marked by periods of isolation, where he regrouped mentally and emotionally before returning stronger. Healing and clarity come from this intentional withdrawal. The story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, demonstrates the power of solitude in emotional healing. Even in the darkest moments of isolation, he found a deep inner freedom by reflecting on his values and purpose. Solitude gave him the strength to endure unimaginable suffering. Modern psychology supports this ancient wisdom. Time alone can reduce anxiety, improve mood, and foster emotional regulation. It allows the brain to process trauma and cultivate resilience, essential for lasting peace. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, embrace solitude as your healing space. Allow yourself to feel without judgment, to sit with your pain and let it transform you. Remember, solitude is not loneliness or despair. It is the quiet path to emotional freedom and inner peace. Through solitude, you reclaim your heart and emerge stronger. Discipline is the backbone of all achievement, and solitude is the training ground where discipline is forged. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In solitude, away from distractions and temptations, you practice mastery over your impulses and habits. The Stoics believed that discipline was not punishment but freedom, the ability to act according to reason rather than desire. Epictetus taught that true freedom lies in controlling oneself, and solitude provides the space to build this control. Machiavelli knew that a ruler's power depended on discipline. Without it, even the strongest leader crumbles under pressure. He advised rulers to cultivate self-discipline to maintain authority and control. Similarly, solitude sharpens your mental muscles, allowing you to resist distractions and stay focused on your goals. Consider the story of Theodore Roosevelt, known for his iron will and disciplined lifestyle. He often sought solitude in nature, where he could push his physical and mental limits. These solitary moments helped him develop the stamina and resolve needed to lead a nation through turbulent times. Science shows that solitude strengthens the brain's executive functions, enhancing self-control and decision-making. By regularly embracing solitude, you build habits that serve your long-term success rather than short-term pleasure. Tonight, commit to practicing discipline in your moments of solitude. Whether it's waking early, journaling, or meditating, these rituals build your inner fortress. Remember, discipline is your shield and sword in the battle for a meaningful life. Solitude is where you hone both. Solitude offers the rare luxury of uninterrupted thought, the perfect environment to develop strategic thinking. Marcus Aurelius advised himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Solitude transforms obstacles into opportunities by allowing you to plan calmly and clearly. Strategic thinking is not spontaneous. It requires reflection, foresight, and patience. Epictetus emphasized the importance of foresight and understanding consequences before acting. Solitude is where you cultivate this kind of disciplined, forward-thinking mindset. Machiavelli, the quintessential strategist, knew the value of withdrawing to assess the battlefield. His masterpiece, The Prince, is full of advice on how leaders must anticipate threats and adapt tactics, lessons learned in moments of deliberate solitude. Consider the story of George Washington, who often retreated to his study to carefully consider his military and political strategies. His success was partly due to these quiet moments of reflection, which allowed him to see the bigger picture and act decisively. Modern cognitive science supports this ancient wisdom. Deep thinking in solitude enhances problem-solving and creative solutions. It also improves your ability to weigh risks and rewards without the distortion of external pressure. As you prepare for rest tonight, envision your mind as a chessboard. Each move you make requires careful calculation, and solitude is your strategy room. Embrace solitude as your mental war room, where you plan, adapt, and prepare to conquer life's challenges with wisdom and poise. Remember, true power begins with a clear mind and a well-crafted plan. In solitude, the masks we wear for others begin to fall away, revealing our true selves. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Solitude strips away pretense and forces you to confront who you really are, not who society expects you to be. Authenticity is one of the most elusive qualities in today's world. Surrounded by opinions, expectations, and social pressures, it's easy to lose yourself in the crowd. Epictetus taught that the key to happiness is living in accordance with nature, your own nature, which can only be discovered through solitude. Machiavelli also valued authenticity, not in the sense of softness, but as a form of pragmatic honesty. He argued that a leader must understand himself deeply to manipulate and lead effectively. Without self-knowledge, power is fragile. Solitude is the place where this understanding is nurtured. Consider the story of Søren Kierkegaard, a philosopher who retreated into solitude to explore existential truths. Though misunderstood in his time, his work on authenticity and selfhood has inspired generations to live more genuinely. Psychological research supports solitude's role in developing authenticity. Time alone helps reduce the noise of external validation, allowing your true values and desires to surface. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, reflect on the ways you may be hiding from your true self. Allow solitude to reveal your authentic voice, free from judgment or fear. Remember, authenticity born from solitude is the foundation for true confidence and inner peace. When you live authentically, you become unshakable, grounded in your own truth, immune to the superficial tides of others' opinions. Vision is the compass that guides your life, and solitude is the quiet space where that compass is calibrated. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In solitude, you elevate your thinking beyond the immediate and the trivial, focusing on your greater purpose and long-term vision. When you are surrounded by noise and distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Epictetus taught that a wise person aligns every action with their inner values and goals. Solitude creates the space to reconnect with these guiding principles and envision the life you want to build. Machiavelli understood the importance of vision for leaders, a clear picture of what they want to achieve. Without vision, strategy falters and power slips away. Solitude is where leaders cultivate the foresight and clarity necessary to shape their destiny. Consider the story of Steve Jobs, who often retreated into solitude to reflect on his vision for Apple. His ability to see beyond the present and imagine revolutionary products came from these moments of deep quiet and focus. Modern research shows that visualization in solitude activates the brain's goal-oriented networks, enhancing motivation and performance. This mental rehearsal prepares you for success in ways that busy activity cannot. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, picture your ideal future in vivid detail. Let solitude be the space where your vision takes shape, clear, compelling, and inspiring. Remember, vision born from solitude is the foundation of purposeful living. When you craft your future in silence, you become the master of your fate, steering your life with intention and power. Resilience is the armor that allows us to withstand life's storms, and solitude is the forge where this armor is tempered. Marcus Aurelius taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In solitude, you practice this power by learning to stand strong in the face of adversity. When we face hardship, our instinct is often to seek distraction or escape. But true resilience comes from confronting challenges directly, often in the quiet moments alone. Epictetus reminds us that suffering and hardship are opportunities to cultivate virtue and strength. Solitude provides the space to internalize these lessons deeply. Machiavelli's realistic approach to power embraces resilience as essential. The prince who cannot endure hardship or recover quickly is doomed to lose power. His advice encourages embracing adversity as a chance to build character, a process often nurtured in isolation. Think of the story of Helen Keller, who overcame deafness and blindness to become an influential author and activist. Her solitary struggle to communicate and understand the world is a testament to the power of resilience born in solitude. Science backs this up. Solitude helps regulate emotions, reduces stress, and allows your brain to recover from trauma. It enhances neuroplasticity, meaning your mind becomes more adaptable and resilient. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, reflect on the challenges you've faced and how solitude has helped you grow stronger. Embrace the quiet moments as opportunities to build your resilience. Remember, resilience forged in solitude is unbreakable. It is the silent strength that carries you through life's toughest battles. When you cultivate resilience in solitude, you become untouchable. Emotional mastery, the ability to regulate and understand your feelings, is a pinnacle of personal power. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Solitude provides the space where you can observe and govern your emotions without external influence. In the frenzy of social interaction and daily chaos, emotions can become volatile and reactive. Epictetus taught that by distancing ourselves from the noise, we gain clarity and control. Solitude is the crucible where emotional impulses are tempered by reason. Machiavelli, the master of political cunning, recognized that rulers must conceal their emotions to maintain power. However, to do so effectively, one must first master emotions privately. Solitude allows this internal work, learning to command your feelings before confronting the world. Consider the story of Queen Elizabeth I, known for her composed demeanor in the face of political intrigue and personal attacks. Much of her emotional control stemmed from reflective solitude, where she planned her responses and strengthened her resolve. Modern psychology supports this ancient wisdom. Mindfulness and solitary reflection enhance emotional regulation, reduce impulsivity, and improve decision-making. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, take a moment in solitude to observe your emotions without judgment. Practice witnessing your feelings, then consciously choose your response. Remember, true power lies not in suppressing emotions, but mastering them. Through solitude, you become the commander of your inner world, calm and unshakable amid life's storms. Self-reflection is the practice of turning your gaze inward to understand your thoughts, actions, and motives. Marcus Aurelius urged himself, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look." Solitude is the perfect environment for this deep examination. When you are surrounded by others, it's easy to project false images or adopt behaviors to fit in. Solitude strips away these masks, forcing you to confront who you truly are, your strengths, weaknesses, fears, and desires. Epictetus emphasized that self-reflection is the foundation of wisdom and virtue. Only by regularly examining yourself can you identify errors, cultivate virtues, and live in accordance with nature. Machiavelli, though pragmatic and often ruthless, understood the value of self-awareness in leadership. Knowing one's own tendencies and limitations is essential to mastering others and situations. Solitude is where this crucial self-knowledge is developed. Consider the story of Marcus Aurelius himself, who, despite being emperor, regularly retreated into his meditations, documenting his thoughts in what we now call meditations. This habit of self-reflection grounded him through political turmoil and personal trials. Modern studies show that self-reflection improves emotional intelligence and decision-making. It strengthens the connection between your conscious mind and your deeper values. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, take time in solitude to ask yourself honest questions. What am I avoiding? Where am I holding myself back? What virtues do I want to grow? Remember, solitude is your mirror. It reveals not only your flaws but also your potential. Through this mirror, you gain clarity, direction, and the power to change. Focus, the ability to direct your attention completely toward a goal, is one of the most precious skills in today's distracting world. Marcus Aurelius advised himself, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness." Solitude provides the sanctuary where undivided focus is nurtured and strengthened. When surrounded by the noise of notifications, social obligations, and endless distractions, your attention splinters and your energy dissipates. Epictetus believed that only by controlling your focus could you live a life aligned with your values and purpose. Solitude cuts through the chaos and offers a clear space to train your attention. Machiavelli, a master strategist, understood that leaders who can focus their resources and willpower on decisive objectives hold a significant advantage. Distraction breeds weakness and indecision, while focus breeds power. Solitude is where this power is forged. Think of the story of Isaac Newton, who, after retreating to the countryside in solitude during the plague, developed some of the most groundbreaking theories in physics. His uninterrupted focus during this isolated period changed the course of science. Modern neuroscience confirms that solitude enhances concentration and mental endurance. Deep focus activates the brain's prefrontal cortex, improving problem-solving and creativity. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, imagine yourself entering a quiet chamber of the mind where distractions fade, and your entire being zeroes in on what matters most. Remember, focus is the weapon that cuts through confusion and chaos. Solitude is the training ground, where this weapon is sharpened to a razor's edge. Self-reliance is the cornerstone of personal freedom. Marcus Aurelius declared, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." Solitude is where you discover the depths of your own resources and cultivate the strength to depend on yourself. In a world where dependence on others often leads to vulnerability and distraction, the Stoics teach us that true power comes from self-sufficiency. Epictetus emphasized that external events and people are outside your control. Only your own mind and actions truly belong to you. Machiavelli's realist philosophy aligns with this. Leaders who rely too heavily on others risk betrayal or weakness. To maintain authority and independence, one must cultivate inner resources, a process deeply nurtured by solitude. Consider the story of Henry David Thoreau, who retreated to Walden Pond to live simply and rely entirely on himself. His solitude was a deliberate experiment in self-reliance and freedom, inspiring generations to seek independence of mind and spirit. Psychological studies affirm that solitude fosters self-efficacy and confidence, essential components of self-reliance. When alone, you learn to trust your judgment and problem-solving abilities without external validation. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, embrace solitude as your training ground for independence. Reflect on how you can cultivate more self-reliance in your daily life. Remember, freedom born from self-reliance is unshakable. Through solitude, you build a fortress of inner strength that no external force can penetrate. Mental clarity is essential for navigating life's complexities with confidence and purpose. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Clarity begins with removing mental clutter, and solitude is the space where this cleansing occurs. In the midst of constant noise, both external and internal, our thoughts become clouded and confused. Epictetus taught that true wisdom comes from understanding what is within our control and what is not, a distinction impossible to discern without quiet reflection in solitude. Machiavelli, ever the strategist, valued clear thinking above all else. A leader who cannot think clearly is a leader doomed to failure. Solitude offers the rare opportunity to organize thoughts, evaluate priorities, and plan with precision. Consider the story of René Descartes, who famously retreated into solitude to engage in deep contemplation. His pursuit of mental clarity led to foundational developments in philosophy and science, proving the transformative power of focused reflection. Modern cognitive science shows that solitude reduces cognitive overload, improves working memory, and enhances decision-making. It's like clearing the fog so your mind can see the path ahead with sharpness. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, picture your mind as a still lake, free from ripples of distraction and doubt. Embrace solitude as your mental clearing house, where confusion fades and clarity emerges. Remember, mental clarity born from solitude is your most reliable guide in a chaotic world. Through this clarity, you make choices that align with your highest good and deepest values. Forward in na life na yaut jaja.